How do courts distinguish between lay opinion testimony and expert testimony? We explore that question in United States versus Ayala-Pizarro. Officers Mulero and Pietri observed two armed men standing outside a known drug point. The officers arrested the men and searched them. Their search of Luis Daniel Ayala-Pizarro revealed 153 foil-wrapped decks of heroin. Their search of the other man revealed cash. The United States charged Ayala with, among other things, possession of heroin with intent to distribute. At trial, the prosecution questioned Mulero about his experience with drug points. Ayala's counsel objected, asserting that the government was seeking to elicit expert testimony from Mulero. Because the government hadn't disclosed Mulero as an expert witness, Ayala argued that Mulero's testimony should be excluded. At a conference outside the jury's presence, the prosecution explained that Mulero would testify about how drug points operate. The district court found that Mulero's testimony on this point was lay testimony. The government further advised that Mulero would testify about how heroin is packaged for distribution. The district court found that it needed additional information to rule on Ayala's objection, and therefore admitted Mulero's testimony on this point, subject to a later motion to strike. Mulero then testified that he'd investigated, patrolled, or made arrests at drug points more than 100 times. He explained that armed men often patrol drug points for protection. Mulero testified that he'd had previous experience with the house where Ayala was arrested, and that it was a known drug point. Finally, Mulero testified that based on his experience with drug seizures, heroin that's intended for distribution is typically packaged in decks. Mulero confirmed that the heroin seized from Ayala was packaged in decks. Ayala never moved to strike Mulero's testimony regarding packaging. The jury convicted Ayala of possession with intent to distribute. Ayala appealed to the First Circuit, arguing that the district court erroneously admitted Mulero's testimony regarding drug points and drug packaging.